Have you ever met someone you instantly underestimate? You look at their clothes, their shoes, their silence, and think you already know their worth? That's what happened in this story. A famous designer laughed at a woman who looked too plain for her world of glamour. No labels, no sparkle, no confidence. At least that's what she thought. But that moment, that small act of arrogance, became the biggest lesson of her life. Because sometimes the person you dismiss without a second thought turns out to be the very legend your entire industry stands on. The hum of sewing machines fades as models practice walking near the runway setup. A large banner reads Elena Couture, Spring Showcase. Assistants rush about, adjusting fabrics and lighting. The tension is clear. Elena, lead designer. No, the hemline is off again. Who did the adjustments on this dress? Mira, assistant designer. That was Nina. She followed your pattern, Elena. Elena, then she followed it wrong. It looks cheap, like something from a thrift store. Nina, softly. I can fix it if you just... Elena, cutting her off. Fix. There's nothing to fix when the concept is flawed. Do you even understand proportion, Nina? Mira. Elena, the client visit is in 20 minutes. Maybe we should... Elena. No excuses. If we're presenting my line, everything must look like me. Perfect, elevated, sophisticated, not sentimental. A moment of uneasy silence. The door opens. A woman in her mid-50s walks in, wearing a simple beige dress and canvas shoes. Her hair is tied in a loose bun. She carries a small notebook. Mira, whispering, that must be the consultant from the magazine. Elena, that? The consultant? You've got to be kidding. Sophie, PR manager. Elena, please. Ms. Clara Jennings from Mode Legacy magazine. Clara, smiling politely. Just Clara is fine. I heard you're preparing something special for this season. Elena, with a thin smile. We are. I hope the simplicity of your outfit won't make you faint when you see real fashion. A few assistants exchange awkward looks. Clara chuckles softly, unbothered. Clara, I'll take my chances. Sometimes simplicity survives the storm better than extravagance. Elena, depends on who's designing the storm. Clara, you might be right. But storms don't last. Good design does. Elena turns to her staff, pretending not to be irritated. Elena, Mira, let's show her the collection. Maybe she'll finally understand the word luxury. Mira, of course. This way, Miss Clara. They walk toward a rack of gowns. Clara gently touches one of the dresses, running her hand across the stitching. Clara, your craftsmanship is sharp. The structure's confident, but it feels afraid. Elena, confused. Afraid? That's an odd thing to say about couture. Clara, not the stitches, the intent. It's trying too hard to impress. Elena, tight smile. Well, that's what wins awards, Miss Clara. Trying hard. Nina, quietly, to Mira. I actually liked the softer version before she changed it. Mira, whispering, don't say that out loud. You'll get fired. Clara overhears, eyes flicking toward Nina with interest. Clara, what was softer about it? Nina, hesitant. It flowed more naturally. The colors blended instead of competing. But Elena wanted contrast, so... Elena, interrupting, because contrast creates depth. We don't do natural flow here. We design statements. Clara, statements are good, but sometimes silence makes the stronger statement. A brief silence. The room stills slightly. Sophie, Elena, maybe we should take a short break before the presentation. Elena, coldly, no. We're not stopping because someone in linen wants to teach me about fashion. Clara, calmly, you're passionate, that's clear. Passion is good. But sometimes, when passion blocks listening, It turns into ego. Elena, snapping. I built this band from nothing. I know what I'm doing. Clara. Then you don't need to defend it. Elena freezes for a second, caught off guard. Mira looks down. Nina nervously adjusts a mannequin. Mira. Ms. Clara? Would you like coffee? Clara. No, thank you. I'd rather keep watching. Observing tells me more than caffeine ever could. Elena to Sophie. How long is she staying? Sophie. She didn't say anything. She's here to write a feature. Elena sarcastic. A feature. Wonderful. I can't wait to read how my designs feel afraid. Clara, smiling slightly. You might be surprised by what I write. Sometimes the truth sounds kinder than the echo of applause. The tension lingers. Clara steps closer to a mannequin, studies a seam, and gently fixes a loose thread with the ease of someone who's done it 1,000 times. The room goes quiet. Elena watches, something faint flickering in her expression. Annoyance? Curiosity? Maybe both. Elena, you see so? Clara, without looking up. Old habit. Some things you never forget. The lights are slightly dimmer now. The models rehearse quietly on the other side of the room. Elena stands near the window, sipping coffee with a tense jaw. Clara sits calmly at the fitting table, flipping through sketches. Mira, Nina, and Sophie whisper nearby. Mira. She's been looking through those sketches for half an hour, doesn't even say a word. Nina. Maybe she doesn't like them. Sophie. Or maybe she's waiting for the right moment to tell us why. Elena turns sharply toward them. Elena, if you have something to say about my work, say it to my face, not like schoolgirls whispering in a locker room. Mira, quickly. We were just wondering what Ms. Clara thought. Clara, calmly, still looking at a sketch. You can ask me directly. Elena. Fine. Then tell me, Ms. Clara, what does a woman who wears cotton shoes think about haute couture? Clara. That it's more fragile than most people realize. Elena, sarcastic. That's poetic, but not helpful. Clara. All right. You want direct? These sketches are technically brilliant, but emotionally hollow. You've designed armor, not art. The assistants glance at each other nervously. Elena walks closer, voice tight. Elena, armor protects beauty. That's what fashion is, protection with taste. Clara, maybe once. But protection from what? Critics? Insecurity? Real people? Elena, from mediocrity. Clara, softly. Or from vulnerability? Elena's eyes narrow. For a moment, no one moves. Mira pretends to adjust a mannequin just to break the silence. Mira. Elena, the 7 p.m. fitting with the investors. Elena. Cancel it. I'm busy defending my life's work to a woman who showed up dressed like she's going grocery shopping. Clara, unbothered. Funny? Some of the best collections ever created came from designers who worked at kitchen tables. Nina, whispering. She's not wrong. Eleanor, excuse me? Nina, stammering. I just mean, sometimes inspiration doesn't need a studio. Elena, I see. So now my interns are critics too. Sophie, Elena, please. She didn't mean it like that. Elena, snapping. No, let her talk. Apparently, everyone here has an opinion about what's wrong with me. Clara closes the sketchbook gently. Clara, no one said anything's wrong with you, but maybe something's missing from your work. Humanity. Elena, coldly. I design for visionaries, not sentiment. Clara, and yet, the ones who last in this industry always design for people first. Vision fades when hearts don't connect. Elena, spare me the philosophy. You're not the first critic who tried to sound wise while missing the point. Clara, quietly, And you're not the first designer who confused noise for applause. That lands. The room feels smaller. Mira bites her lip. Sophie steps closer, as if to diffuse the tension. Sophie, let's keep things civil. We all want the same thing. A successful showcase. Clara, yes, I'm not here to fight. I'm here to understand why someone so talented seems afraid to be gentle. Elena, bitter laugh. Gentle? This industry eats gentle people alive. You either sharpen your edges or disappear. Clara, that's true, if you don't know how to lead. Elena folds her arms, eyes burning. Elena, who are you to talk about leadership? You write for a magazine. You comment. I create. Clara, you think I only write? A quiet pause. Clara looks around at the dresses, her gaze heavy with nostalgia. Clara, tell me, Elena, how many of your interns have lasted more than one season under you? Elena doesn't respond. Mira lowers her head. Nina shifts awkwardly. Clara, that's not judgment, it's observation. When creativity stops inspiring and starts intimidating, something's wrong. Elena, angrily, you think kindness makes masterpieces? This is fashion, not therapy. Clara, kindness doesn't weaken art, it anchors it. For a long moment, there's only the faint sound of sewing from another room. Mira, softly, Elena, she's just trying to help. Elena, quiet but sharp. I didn't ask for help. I asked for excellence. Clara, then maybe you've mistaken one for the other. Elena sets her coffee cup down hard, splashing a bit onto the table. Elena, you know what? I've wasted enough time. Sophie, make sure she gets her feature story, whatever spin she wants. I don't care. Clara, calmly standing, I'm not writing about your clothes, Elena. I'm writing about the people behind them. Everyone freezes. Elena looks confused, suspicious. Elena, what's that supposed to mean? Clara, it means I came here for something deeper than a runway preview. Elena stares, but Clara doesn't elaborate. The tension lingers as Clara walks toward the door, her notebook tucked under her arm. She pauses, turns back briefly. Clara, I'll see you at the showcase tomorrow. Don't hide behind your gowns. Let them speak for you, if they still can. She leaves. Elena stands still, hands trembling slightly, though she hides it. Mira and Nina exchange a silent glance. The atmosphere feels heavier than before. The next day. Backstage at the grand venue, the hum of music tests, clicking heels, and murmured instructions fill the air. Models line up in elegant gowns. Elena stands at the center, clipboard in hand, her face calm, but her fingers tapping restlessly on the edge of a table. Mira, all models are ready. The press is already in the front row. Sophie. Clara Jennings just arrived. She's sitting with the editor-in-chief of Mode Legacy. Elena, without looking up. Good. Let her watch what real art looks like. Nina adjusts a dress nervously. Mira gives her a reassuring glance. Nina. She didn't seem like she was here just to watch yesterday. She knew something. Elena. She knew how to criticize, that's for sure. People like her feed on finding flaws in others' work. Sophie's phone buzzes. She checks it, frowns slightly. Sophie. Elena? The show's guest list just updated. There's a note. Special appearance, Ms. Clara Jennings, former creative director, La Maison du Clair. The room falls silent. Mira blinks. Nina stops fixing the dress. Mira. Wait, La Maison du Clair? That's Nina. That's the La Maison, the brand that trained half the top designers in Europe. Elena freezes mid-step, confusion flickering on her face. Elena, that can't be right. Clara Jennings was a writer, not Sophie. It says here she's Clara Jennings Duclair. She ran the brand until she retired 15 years ago. Mira stares in disbelief. Mira, she's that Clara? The one who mentored Alessandra Vane, Theo March, Julian Harlow? Nina whispering, and started the minimalist movement in couture. Elena's breath catches, though she tries to stay composed. Elena, no one told me that. Sophie, you didn't ask. A pause. Elena looks down at her reflection in a mirror. The flawless designer who suddenly feels small. Mira quietly. Elena, what if she came to see more than the collection? The lights dim slightly. A stagehand signals that the show's about to start. Elena straightens her shoulders, hiding the tremor in her voice. Elena, everyone focuses. We're professionals. We finish what we start. The runway music begins. The first model steps out. Applause ripples faintly from the audience. Backstage, Elena watches each look pass by. Her sharp silhouettes, bold contrasts, and dramatic designs. Clara watches from the front row, expression unreadable. Nina whispering. She's not taking notes. She's just watching. Mira, that's worse. As the final model walks, a sudden pause falls when one of the gown's threads snaps near the train. Mira gasps softly. The model hesitates. Elena's breath tightens. Elena, no, keep walking. Keep it together. The model stumbles slightly, but recovers. Clara stands up calmly and walks toward the stage, something only a legend could get away with mid-show. The crowd murmurs. Elena's heart races. Sophie whispering, "What is she doing?" Clara bends, adjusts the hem with quiet precision, tucking the fabric so seamlessly that the flaw disappears. The audience quiets, then breaks into applause, not for the dress, but for the moment. Backstage, Eleanor's mask of confidence begins to crack. Mira, awed. She fixed it like she's done it 100 times. Nina, because she has. She's her. After the final bow, Elena walks out, forcing a composed smile. Clara meets her halfway at the edge of the runway. Cameras flash. The audience leans in to hear. Elena, you could have told me who you were. Clara, smiling softly. And missed seeing how you treat people when you think they're no one. That would have been a shame. The words sting. Elena swallows hard. Elena, I didn't mean to disrespect you, Clara, you meant to impress me. I know that hunger. I had it once, until I realized I had lost the warmth that made me start designing in the first place. Elena, you don't understand. Clara, I understand perfectly. I was you. And one day, I looked around and realized everyone admired my gowns, but no one liked the person who made them. Elena looks down, her voice small. Elena, I thought control was the only way to stay relevant. Clara, control builds brands. Heart builds legacies. You can have both if you remember who you're designing for. A long silence. The audience begins to disperse. Flashbulbs fade. Clara turns to leave. Elena. Clara, wait. Clara, turning. Yes. Elena. Would you stay? Maybe show me what a heart looks like in design again? Clara studies her face. For the first time, her expression softens completely. Clara, we'll see. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. No armor, no entourage, just fabric and honesty. She walks away, leaving Elena alone under the runway lights, humbled, silent, but somehow lighter. The next morning. The sunlight filters through tall windows. The space is quieter than usual. No music, no assistants rushing, just fabric rolls, sketches, and silence. Elena stands near a mannequin, holding a plain piece of ivory cloth. Clara walks in, wearing the same simple linen dress as before. No notebook this time. Elena, quietly, "You came." Clara, "You asked. That's a start." Elena, "I wasn't sure you would." Clara, "Neither was I. But you looked ready to listen yesterday. That doesn't happen often in this industry." Elena folds the cloth nervously, eyes down. Elena, "You embarrassed me. In front of everyone." Clara, softly, "No. You embarrassed yourself. I only held up the mirror." A pause. Elena exhales, then nods slowly. Elena, "Fair enough." Clara walks over to a work table and looks at the sketches spread out. All clean lines, heavy contrasts, dark tones. Clara, "These are beautiful. Cold, but beautiful. You've mastered technique." That's the easy part. Elena, surprised. Easy? Clara, "Yes, anyone can learn how to design a dress, but few learn why they're designing it." Elena, "Why does it matter? Isn't beauty reason enough?" Clara, "Beauty's just the surface. It's the story that people fall in love with, the one behind the seams." Elena looks at her reflection in the nearby mirror, poised, sharp, but tired. Elena, "When I started, I just wanted people to notice me. I worked harder than everyone. I slept on cutting tables, skipped meals, and begged for opportunities. Now they notice me, but they don't see me." Clara, "That's what happens when your work becomes a mask instead of a voice." Mira and Nina enter quietly, unsure whether they should interrupt. Mira, "We didn't want to disturb." Clara, "You're not disturbing. You're part of this." Clara smiles gently, gesturing for them to come closer. Clara, "Tell me, what's one thing you love about fashion?" Nina, shy, "I love how a piece of fabric can make someone feel different, more confident, maybe even brave." Clara, "That's the real work of a designer. Not to impress, but to transform." Mira, "I love when someone wears our design and smiles like they belong in it, like it fits who they are." Clara, nodding. "Good. Both of you understand what many forget. Clothes aren't just worn, they're lived." Elena watches them, eyes softening a little. Elena, "You both sound like the designers I used to be friends with before everything turned into deadlines and competition." Clara, "You can still be that person, it's not too late." Clara picks up the ivory fabric Elena was holding earlier. Clara, "Here, let's design something new. No sketches, no labels, just feel." Elena, hesitant, "Now?" Clara, "Now. Start cutting." Elena hesitates, then slowly starts cutting the cloth. Her movements are deliberate, slower than usual. Clara watches quietly, giving no instruction. Mira and Nina watch with fascination. Mira, "She's never worked without a sketch before." Nina, "It's kind of peaceful." Elena finishes the first cut, then sighs. Elena, "It's strange. I feel like I'm back to when I first touched fabric at design school. Just me and the material. No pressure. No audience." Clara, "That's where all great design begins. In honesty." Elena looks up at her, voice barely above a whisper. Elena, "I forgot what that felt like." Clara, "You remembered today. That's what matters." A soft knock. Sophie enters with 2 cups of coffee. Sophie, "Thought you could use this. I didn't expect to see you working already." Elena, smiling faintly, "Neither did I." Sophie to Clara. You've done something to her? Clara, lightly. I just reminded her she's human. The rest is up to her. Everyone chuckles quietly. The mood shifts. Calm, collaborative, real. Elena, I have been so focused on making statements that I forgot fashion is a conversation. Clara, exactly. And when you start listening, it answers back. Elena looks at the cloth again, running her hand across it. Her voice softens further. Elena, would you help me finish this piece together? Clara, only if you promise one thing. Elena, what's that? Clara, next time you see a woman in simple clothes, you'll look for her story before judging her style. Elena gives a quiet, humbled smile. Elena, I promise. Clara nods, picks up a pair of scissors, and joins her at the table. For the first time, Elena looks truly at peace, not as the designer everyone fears, but as the student rediscovering why she began. 1 week later, soft morning light fills the room. The once busy workshop feels calmer now, filled with quiet focus. Bolts of new fabric rest on the tables, muted pastels and gentle tones replacing the usual sharp contrasts. Elena, Clara, Mira, and Nina are gathered around a mannequin, draped in the ivory dress they started last week. The unfinished piece radiates something different. Simple, elegant, human. Mira, it's strange. It's not like anything we've done before, but it feels right. Nina, it's softer, almost like it's breathing. Elena, smiling faintly, that's because it finally has a heartbeat. Clara adjusts a fold of fabric, her movements slow and deliberate. Clara, see how it falls here? It's imperfect. Let it stay that way. Perfection is sterile. A little flaw makes it honest. Elena, you really believe that? Clara, I've spent half my life chasing perfection. The other half is learning to let it go. Elena nods slowly, then turns toward Mira and Nina. Elena, you two have ideas, real ones. From now on, I want to hear them. Every time, no matter how small. Mira looks surprised. Nina's eyes widen a little. Mira, you mean like actually sharing designs? Elena, exactly. I've been treating this studio like a stage when it should have been a classroom. We build together or it falls apart. Nina grins shyly, almost in disbelief. Nina, thank you, Elena. Elena, don't thank me yet. Thank me. I might still tear your sketches apart, but I'll do it with respect. Everyone laughs softly. Even Clara smiles. Clara, see? You're already changing the culture. That's harder than changing a design. Elena, smiling. It feels strange, not controlling everything. Clara, it's called trust. It makes space for magic. Elena steps back to look at the dress again, her tone thoughtful. Elena, when you walked into the showroom that day, I thought you didn't belong here. Clara, and now? Elena, now I realize you were exactly what this place needed. Clara, you didn't need me, Elena. You just needed perspective. Elena, maybe, but I still learned more from you in 1 week than I did in 5 years of running this company. Clara looks touched, but brushes it off lightly. Clara, then make sure it counts. Don't let this be another phase. Let it become who you are. Elena, I will. I want my designs to breathe again. To speak for real people, not just for cameras. Sophie enters, holding a few envelopes. Sophie, morning everyone. The reviews from last week's show are in. Everyone pauses. Elena takes the top envelope slowly, hesitating before opening it. Mira, good or bad? Sophie, depends on how you read honesty. Elena unfolds the letter, Her eyes scan it silently. Then she exhales, a small smile forming. Elena. They said the designs were technically flawless, but emotionally distant. Clara. They're right. Elena nodding. They are, but they also said the final moment, when the collection faltered and you fixed it, was the most human moment of the night. They said it reminded them that fashion is alive. Everyone exchanges quiet smiles. Mira. That's actually beautiful. Nina. It is. And true. Clara. See, Elena? That moment wasn't a failure. It was your awakening. Elena. It was humbling. And I needed it. A comfortable silence fills the room. Clara moves closer to the mannequin and runs her hand over the soft fabric. Clara. You've found your heart again. Don't lose it chasing the next season. Elena. I won't. This time, I'll design for the woman who wears the dress, not the people who judge it. Clara. That's the only kind of design that lasts. Elena looks at her, gratitude in her eyes. Elena. Clara, before you leave, I'd like to dedicate this new line to you. The Jennings collection. Clara laughs softly. Clara. No, Elena. Don't name it after me. Name it after what you learned. Elena, after a pause. Then I'll call it Grace, because that's what it took to see the truth. Clara smiles warmly, eyes glinting. Clara. Perfect. And this time, imperfection is allowed. Mira and Nina exchange a proud glance. Sophie sets the letters aside, her voice lighter now. Sophie. So, are we ready to start the next chapter? Elena, nodding. More than ready. But first, coffee. No couture without caffeine. Everyone laughs. Clara shakes her head with a smile as Elena pours cups for everyone. They stand together around the mannequin, no longer boss and subordinates, but a team reborn in understanding. As the laughter fades, Clara looks at the unfinished dress one last time. Clara, quietly, you've done well, Elena. Remember, fashion fades, integrity doesn't. Elena, softly, I'll remember, always. The room fills with gentle morning light, the sound of scissors snipping fabric, and the quiet murmur of collaboration, the sound of humility finding its form again. In the end, she learned that elegance isn't stitched into fabric, it's carried in character. The woman she mocked didn't need recognition. She was the recognition. Every design, every trend she built, unknowingly guided the young designer's entire career. That night changed everything. She stopped chasing perfection and started respecting people instead. Because true fashion isn't about how loud you look, it's about how quietly you inspire. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe for more emotional, dialogue-driven dramas that reveal powerful life lessons through human moments. Your support keeps these stories alive.